Hi friends, if you've been feeling stuck, confused, or afraid to start, this message is especially for you. Before you're late. One day you may wake up and realize something deeply painful. Not that you failed, but that you waited too long to begin. Dreams rarely die because they are impossible. They die because we keep postponing them. We convince ourselves that there will be more time, better conditions, or greater confidence in the future. But time moves forward quietly, and if you don't move with it, it moves past you. Most people do not fail due to lack of talent or intelligence. They fail because of delay. They wait for the perfect moment, more money, or external approval. What they don't realize is that the perfect time is a myth. Life does not pause while you prepare. Every day you wait, opportunities pass without noise, and the cost of delay quietly increases. The phrase, "I'm not ready yet," has destroyed more dreams than failure ever has. Readiness is not a starting point. It is a result. Confidence does not appear before action. It grows after taking action. Those who succeed are not the ones who felt ready. They are the ones who moved forward despite fear, doubt, and uncertainty. Waiting may feel safe, but it is one of the most expensive decisions you can make. Each day you delay is a day you could have learned, improved, or progressed. Regret does not come immediately. It comes later, when chances are gone and time cannot be recovered. The most painful realization in life is understanding that you could have started earlier, but chose not to. Starting does not require a perfect plan or complete clarity. It requires movement. Small steps taken consistently create momentum. One decision, one action, one attempt is enough to begin changing your direction. Progress, no matter how slow, is far more powerful than perfection. Fear is not a sign to stop. It is a sign that growth is near. If you wait for fear to disappear, you will wait forever. Successful people do not eliminate fear. They learn to move forward with it. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to act despite it. You are not competing with others. You are competing with time. Every year that passes will either work in your favor or against you. When you start now, time becomes your greatest ally. When you delay, time becomes the force that holds you back. If this message makes you uncomfortable, it is because it is speaking directly to you. That discomfort is not fear, it is awareness. It is your inner voice reminding you that this moment matters. Not next year, not someday, but now. Start before you have everything figured out. Start before you feel confident. Start before conditions are perfect. Because one day, starting will no longer be difficult, it will be impossible. Begin today, imperfect and unsure if necessary, but begin before you are late. The silent regret of waiting. There comes a moment in life that does not announce itself loudly, a moment that does not knock on the door or demand attention, but instead arrives quietly, almost invisibly, and yet carries more weight than any failure you will ever experience. It is the moment when you realize that time has passed, not because you were moving forward, but because you were standing still. You don't feel it in your youth, when days seem endless and tomorrow feels guaranteed. You don't notice it when you are busy making excuses, convincing yourself that you will start soon, that you just need a little more time, a little more money, a little more confidence. But one day, without warning, you look back and understand something painful. The problem was never that life was too hard. The problem was that you waited too long to begin. Regret does not arrive with noise or drama. It settles quietly into your thoughts, late at night, when distractions fade and honesty becomes unavoidable. It whispers questions you can't escape. What if you had started earlier? What if you had taken that chance? What if you had believed in yourself before doubt became comfortable? Most people think failure is the worst possible outcome, but failure at least teaches you something, at least proves that you tried. Waiting teaches nothing except how to live with what could have been. We are taught from an early age to be careful, to wait until conditions are perfect, to avoid mistakes, but no one warns us about the danger of delay. No one tells us that waiting slowly becomes a habit, and habits quietly shape the rest of your life. You tell yourself you are being patient, but patience without action is just fear in disguise. You tell yourself you are preparing, but preparation without movement is just procrastination dressed as responsibility. And while you wait, life does not pause out of respect for your hesitation. Time continues its work, taking away opportunities, energy, and moments you will never get back. The tragedy is not that people fail. The tragedy is that most people never truly try. They live their lives inside their own heads, replaying ideas they never acted on, dreams they never honored, and potential they never explored. Years pass, and slowly the world begins to shape you into someone who is busy surviving instead of someone brave enough to build. Responsibilities grow heavier, fear grows more familiar, and the idea of starting feels more distant than ever. What once felt exciting now feels risky, and what once felt possible now feels unrealistic. Not because it truly is, but because you waited until comfort replaced courage. The most dangerous lie we tell ourselves is that there will be time later. Later is an illusion that feels safe because it removes pressure from today. Later allows you to rest inside your excuses. But later is not guaranteed, and even when it arrives, you are not the same person you were before. You have less energy, less patience, and often more fear. Dreams require space to grow, and waiting crowds that space with doubt. Look around and you will see people who once had fire in their eyes now speaking in the language of regret. They don't say they failed. They say they never got the chance, never realizing that the chance was always there, quietly waiting for them to move. Starting is not about knowing everything or being ready. It is about honoring the inner voice that tells you there is more to your life than routine and survival. That voice speaks early, when courage is still fresh and belief is still possible. But when ignored long enough, it becomes quieter, not because it was wrong, but because you taught yourself not to listen. This is how people slowly betray their own potential, not through dramatic mistakes, but through small delays repeated over years. The pain of starting feels intense in the moment because it demands effort, vulnerability, and responsibility. But the pain of not starting is far heavier because it lasts a lifetime. It becomes the silent background noise of your existence, the feeling that something is missing, the sense that you settled instead of striving. You may build a life that looks acceptable from the outside, but inside you know the truth. You played it safe when you were meant to be bold. The world does not punish you for waiting. It simply moves on without you. Opportunities don't disappear dramatically. They pass quietly to someone who was willing to act before they felt ready. And the hardest realization is not that someone else succeeded, but that you could have been that person if you had trusted yourself sooner. Starting late is not always about age. It is about mindset. You can be young and still be late if you spend your time hesitating instead of building. You can be older and still begin if you choose action over fear. But once you understand the cost of delay, once you truly feel how much time has already slipped through your fingers, you realize that waiting is no longer neutral. It is a decision, and often the most expensive one. This is the moment this message is speaking to you. Not to scare you, but to wake you. Because awareness is painful, but it is also powerful. You are not being judged for waiting. You are being invited to stop. To stop postponing the life you know you are capable of living. To stop telling yourself stories that protect your comfort but destroy your future. This moment right now is not asking you to be fearless or perfect. It is asking you to be honest. Honest about how long you have delayed. Honest about what you truly want. And honest about the fact that time will not slow down for your doubts. The purpose of this message is not to fill you with urgency alone, but with clarity. You still have time, but only if you choose to use it. But you can start anyway. You can begin today. You can act imperfectly, courageously, and consistently. You can choose movement over stagnation, creation over hesitation, and action over regret. And when you do, you will look back one day and see the power of this moment. The moment you refused to wait any longer, the moment you decided to honor your potential, the moment you chose to begin before it was too late. That choice will define the trajectory of your life. That choice will become the foundation of your achievements, the fuel of your growth, and the anchor of your confidence. And in that choice, you will finally understand the ultimate truth. Life rewards those who act, not those who wait. It rewards courage, not comfort. It rewards beginnings, not hesitation. Start now. Begin imperfectly. Begin courageously. Begin before fear, doubt, or circumstances have a chance to stop you. Begin before the world defines what is possible. Begin before it is too late. One day, this moment will matter more than you know. Choose courage. Choose action. Begin now. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe if this moved you. See you in the next one.